We are pretty involved in the community. We lead at several different high schools in the area. So we have about 28 leaders from BGSU that go out to high schools and just meet kids. So we do have a little bit of involvement on campus with Campus Fest and just meeting people, but most of our involvement is through the community.
So something that's really cool about Veritas is we're still a very new organization. I think we're only like 5 or 6 years old. So we've kind of continued to gain a presence year after year on campus. So we're definitely very present during the opening week of school because we're there every day getting things out, trying to just be present to the students so they know that we're an organization that they can consider being a part of. And there are a lot of different ways between Campus Fest and different things that you can do to be involved on campus, which along with that we do meet weekly in the union every Thursday. So we definitely do have an on-campus presence, though I do think that a lot of what we kind of forget is that because we're associated with St. Thomas More across from Duncan, there's a lot of different events that we have going on over there that don't necessarily get advertised very well on campus unless you're attending our weekly meetings. So something that we're trying to change as far as our on-campus presence is being able to advertise for a lot of the events that we have going on off the street, off campus, even though it's literally just across the street.
We're an organization that is there for Jewish students and even non-Jewish students who are interested in learning about our religion. So I feel like we do a great job with our religious service and social events, such as we have Shabbat twice a month and we have our big alternative spring break where we go to get peace the world. So I think we do a great job. We could always add more, and that's what we're trying on.
I think we're definitely very involved. At the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the school year, coming back as a second-year student, it was crazy to see just how much we really did have going on for first-year students coming in. We did lots of like welcome picnics and things like that. We collected contact cards from people, and then all of the student leaders as well as staff took the time to text out some information to all of those students just to see if they'd be interested in getting more involved. So it's a huge effort getting things off the ground, but after that it's really fun because then you have all these new faces coming in and we just kind of grow from there. We have a huge emphasis on just continuing to go out and bring in new people.
Being a part of H2O because of how involved we get to be on campus, one of our favorite things to do is to actually just look at what's happening at the university and partner alongside with them. And so being a church, we have a lot of sound equipment and we have people that know how to use it. And so one of our things we love to do is, especially during Welcome Week and even into the spring semester, we love to partner with organizations like Dance Marathon and New Student Orientation to provide sound at their events as we're welcoming new students and as we're raising money for things that are happening on campus and with the kids. So we love that. We also love getting to have our Sunday services on campus in the ballroom, as well as a lot of our Bible studies and groups that will meet on campus and get to use and reserve that space. And so really when you think about H2O Church, you have to think about BGSU because we're a church that exists for the campus, and so we try to live that out by being on campus as much as possible. And it's awesome to be able to work with the university to actually get to use that space and be present, be visible, and available for students.
We actually don't have any money that is allocated to our organization from SBC, but we do have our Young Life staff, and they get money from our Young Life National through the fundraising that they do. So that is really good, but we also could have, if we could figure out a way to have money allocated from campus to our organization, that could definitely help in a lot of different areas.
To me, honestly, when we're kind of trying to receive financial support from the university, it's all about numbers. So we have bigger events, two or three of our bigger events that we'll get really good funding for, and then it's a lot harder when it comes to, we have various several smaller events. We do a Halloween party, we do winter formal every year. A lot of these things that actually come from our own personal fundraising because the university will not fund something that doesn't bring back a lot of people, or so it's a lot about the numbers, or something that happens annually. So they'll look at something and they want to know if it happens every year, and then they also want to know how many students and people that you're bringing in, and that really affects what they fund you for. So It's great what they do give us, but it is a little bit of a struggle for our smaller ministries or smaller events.
I feel like we get a fair amount of money. We could always use more, but what organization can't? So I'm happy with it.
Yeah, so I think that any money that we get from SBC really is just like a huge blessing. It's really helpful, especially as more costs come up over the years. Like in several years back, we didn't have to pay for room rental, but now that's a cost that we have. So to get funding for that from SBC is really helpful. Most of our funding, though, does come from private donors, and that is vital for our ministry. If we didn't have our private donors, we really wouldn't be able to do nearly the amount of things that we do now.
Yeah, so for a church, I mean, any organization, but especially a church, finances are really important. Finances allow our church, H2O, to be on the campus and for the campus. It's really important for us to have Sunday services that are on campus to provide groups and community for students right where they're at on a college campus, and that takes money to do that. And so we fund our church in a couple different ways. One of the key ways, and we're really privileged to do this, is to be a registered student organization on campus. And so we do receive some funding for being a part of the student organization group on campus. Probably the biggest way that we fundraise for our church is through our Sunday tithes and offerings like a normal church would do, but also outside donations, a lot of it from alumni and students and parents that have been a part of H2O. They'll give back and be a part of kind of supporting the church that way.